One match. 90 minutes. A legacy on the line. It was the 1999 Champions League final at the Camp Nou in Barcelona. Manchester United faced Bayern Munich in a battle that would define their season and their place in football history. With the treble on the line, millions watched as Sir Alex Ferguson's men wrote one of the greatest stories the sport has ever seen. This is the match that changed Manchester United forever. The 1998-99 season was full of excitement, drama and challenges for Manchester United. Under Sir Alex Ferguson, the team was on the verge of achieving something no English club had ever done before, the treble, winning the Premier League, the FA Cup and the Champions League in one season. But the journey wasn't easy. United's Premier League race went down to the final day. They came from behind to beat Tottenham Hotspur and finished just 1 point ahead of Arsenal to win the title. In the FA Cup, they faced a tough semi-final against Arsenal, where Ryan Giggs scored a legendary solo goal to secure their spot in the final. They went on to win the FA Cup by beating Newcastle United, and now there was just one more challenge, the Champions League final. Their opponents were Bayern Munich, one of Europe's strongest teams. Led by coach Ottmar Hitzfeld, Bayern had already won the Bundesliga and were aiming for their own treble. Their team was filled with stars like Oliver Kahn, Lothar Matthäus, Stefan Effenberg and Mario Basler. The match also carried a unique historical significance for both teams. United and Bayern had already faced each other twice in the group stage earlier that season, with both games ending in draws. For United, this was a chance to win their second European Cup, the first having come in 1968 under Sir Matt Busby. He was the man that rebuilt United again after the 1958 Munich air disaster, in which 8 players lost their lives. Also, the final date, May 26th, made the occasion even more special. It would have been Sir Matt Busby's 90th birthday, so you can understand how important this match was for the club. United, however, faced a big setback. Their captain, Roy Keane, and midfield star Paul Scholes were suspended after receiving yellow cards in the semi-final against Juventus. The team had to rely on Peter Schmeichel playing his last match for the club to take the captain's armband. The Camp Nou in Barcelona was packed with over 90,000 fans. Millions more tuned in from around the globe, knowing they were about to witness history one way or another. For Bayern, this was a chance to end a 23-year wait for European glory. For United, it was an opportunity to complete the season of their dreams and secure their place as legends in football history. The stage was set for one of the most unforgettable matches of all time. Interestingly, the referee of this match was Pierluigi Collina, often considered as the greatest referee of all time. Later, he went on to describe this game as the ultimate final in the history of the Champions League. The match kicked off, and Bayern Munich wasted no time in making their presence felt. Just 4 minutes in, Carsten Janker was brought down by Johnson just outside the penalty area. It was a clumsy challenge, and the referee immediately blew his whistle, awarding Bayern a dangerous free kick. Mario Basler stepped up, and with precision and calmness, curled a low shot around the wall and into the bottom corner. Bayern were ahead, 1-0, and their fans erupted in celebration. For United, the early goal was a gut punch. Their strategy to settle into the game and control the tempo was thrown out the window. As Bayern celebrated, United players gathered trying to refocus. They had been in tough situations before, but this was the biggest stage of all. Bayern's early lead gave them momentum, and they looked to capitalise on United's shaky start. Their midfield dominated possession, dictating the pace and keeping United on the back foot. Every time United tried to push forward, Bayern's defence snuffed out any threat with precision. Without Roy Keane's leadership and Paul Scholes' creativity, United's midfield lacked the control and spark it needed. Nicky Butt worked tirelessly to hold the midfield together, and David Beckham shifted centrally to try and dictate the play. But Bayern's composure in the middle of the park left United chasing shadows for most of the half. As the minutes ticked on, United's frustration grew. Their attempts to break through Bayern's defensive lines became increasingly rushed. When the half-time whistle finally blew, Bayern went into the break with a deserved 1-0 lead. For United, the situation didn't look good. They were second best in almost every area, and their dream of completing the treble seemed to be slipping away. In the dressing room, Sir Alex Ferguson addressed his players with a mixture of calmness and urgency. His now famous words were, "At the end of this game, the European Cup will be only 6 feet away from you, and you'll not even be able to touch it if we lose. For many of you, this will be the closest you will ever get to it. Don't you dare come back in here without giving your all."
Come on. No easing up. Come on now. Listen, don't let yourselves down here now. Don't even fucking attempt it.
The players took those words to heart, knowing they needed to find something extraordinary to turn the game around. Bayern, confident after controlling the first half, looked ready to finish the job and secure European glory. But in football, especially on nights like this, anything can happen. What followed would go down as one of the most unforgettable moments in football history. The second half began with Manchester United trailing by a single goal. On paper, it was just one goal, far from an impossible task. But on the pitch, it felt like more. Bayern Munich, organised and composed, had controlled the game for long stretches, and United hadn't shown much to suggest they could break through. The clock started ticking and the pressure was mounting for United's players. By the 67th minute, Sir Alex Ferguson knew a change was needed. He turned to his bench and called for Teddy Sheringham, a decision that would soon prove to be a masterclass. His presence gave United a target man, someone to hold up play and create opportunities for the forwards. As United pushed forward in search of an equaliser, Bayern remained lethal on the counter. Every misplaced pass from United turned into a dangerous attack from the German side. And then, in the 80th minute, Bayern came agonisingly close to doubling their lead. Mehmet Scholl found himself with space near the box and attempted an amazing chip, which struck the post and bounced back into the hands of the keeper. Bayern fans groaned in disbelief. They had been inches away from sealing the victory. 3 minutes later, in the 83rd minute, Bayern had another golden opportunity with Carsten Janker's overhead kick, and for the second time in 3 minutes, Bayern were denied by the woodwork. The misses were devastating for Bayern and felt like a warning from the football gods. United, battered and outplayed for most of the match, were still alive. The missed chances began to weigh on Bayern, while United's players, sensing the shift in momentum, started to believe. As the game entered its final stages, Ferguson made his second substitution. In the 81st minute, he brought on Solskjaer, replacing Andy Cole. Known as the baby-faced assassin, had a reputation for scoring crucial goals, and Ferguson trusted him to deliver on the biggest stage. The fresh legs injected energy into the team, and Bayern, who had been so dominant, began to retreat deeper into their half. United pressed relentlessly, throwing everything they had into the final minutes. The stage was set for something unforgettable. As the match entered stoppage time, Bayern fans began to celebrate. Bayern was inches closer to European glory. For United, hope was fading, but football, as always, had one last twist to offer. In the 91st minute, United won a corner. David Beckham, who had worked tirelessly all night, stepped up to take it. His delivery was precise, and a scuff shot from Ryan Giggs fell to Teddy Sheringham. With one touch, Sheringham redirected it past Oliver Kahn. The Camp Nou erupted. United had pulled off the impossible. They were back in the game. The celebrations were wild, but there was no time to rest. Bayern Munich, shocked by the equaliser, tried to regroup quickly. The energy had shifted, and the noise of United fans filled the stadium. With only minutes left, it felt like anything could happen. 93rd minute, United won another corner. Beckham's cross found Sheringham, who flicked it on to Solskjaer. With a quick stretch, Solskjaer sent the ball into the roof of the net.
History is made. Manchester United are the champions of Europe again, and nobody will ever win a European Cup final more dramatically than this.
United had done it. The treble was theirs. Premier League champions, FA Cup winners, and now Kings of Europe. No English club had ever achieved such a feat before, and this victory cemented their place among the greatest teams the sport had ever seen. For Bayern, it was heartbreak. In just 2 minutes, their dream of winning the trophy was gone. It was a night of drama, heartbreak and sheer determination. A match that reminded the world why football is called the beautiful game.